can just go live from the top.
Hmm?
You can just go live from the laptop. Or try like that. It might work.
Hello?
Hello? Did you do it?
Hello? Hello? Say something?
Yeah.
Okay, we good.
Yeah. Yeah.
We good?
Yeah. Should be. Still doing it?
Say something?
Hello? This is
Oh,
lagging.
okay. All right. Welcome. All right. Of course, technical difficulties once again. Huh?
So you didn't press record yet?
Oh no, not on the podcast yet. Uh. Okay. Don't you worry. As long as we're good to go. All right.
It was like 2 days of trying to get it working.
I know, right? We finally got you.
Finally got it. I was like, oh man, you might just have to go live from the laptop or something.
But you know how I am.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Well, stop until you figure a solution.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yep.
Ugh. Wait, we got to get this popping off in just a little bit. If y'all can still hear me.
Everybody can hear you. What? Okay, we get it.
All right, good. Well, first and foremost, let me get this right. All right. For the individuals that's tuning in on live, welcome. But if you aren't tuning in on live and you want to catch this later, you can catch all the awesome intros and everything that's associated with our podcast. And that will be on all streaming platforms that play podcasts. It's like iHeart, Spotify, Amazon, all the above.
I think Apple or whatever.
Yeah, if not, it will be up there soon. So therefore, welcome once again. We will get started as soon as we intro this thing in. All right, so about to officially go in, and it is pie time.
Can you hear that too? Can they hear that too?
They can't. Y'all gonna have to listen to the podcast on the streaming platforms to hear the intro. If y'all just tuning in, welcome. We're about to get popping off in a little bit as long as we're introing this podcast right now. We are introing this podcast, waiting for you guys to get settled. We got nice tunes popping off, but y'all can't hear because we're on this stuff. Yeah. Let's hop on the plane, babe. It don't even matter. Bless you. All right now. Bless you again. Bless you again.
I don't know what's going on.
Mhm. Okay. We are officially back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, J. Gary Sr., and along with my lovely, amazing, gorgeous, extraordinary, talented, gifted, all of the above wife. She is in the building too, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to introduce the love of my life, the sweet, the luscious, the beautimous Nita Bug.
Thank you. And to my left, hey, what's wrong with my mic?
What?
To my left, ladies and gentlemen, tall, dark, handsome, my one in the flesh, my dance partner for life,
Dance partner for life.
my lyricist,
Lyricist Fo L.
Joe Gary Sr.
Yeah.
You're so extra.
I know, right?
You're extra.
Welcome. This is the Stay Yoked podcast. This is episode 3. Episode 3. If you have not catch the first 2 episodes, they are available on all your streaming platforms where you listen to your amazing podcasts at. I know that I am a big fan of podcasts. I do a lot of driving for my job, and just sometimes music don't cut it. And I want to send a shout out to Mr. Alex in Covington. He's on. He says, howdy.
Howdy.
So we are live officially. Man, it took a while for us to actually hook this up live, but now that we got it up and running, let's go ahead and dive into this episode, which is entitled The Fall Off. Yeah, and the reason why this episode is called The Fall Off, because if you have not been a part of our journey, just understand that we started with how we met, how we currently got together, how we met, what we were thinking from our end, the struggles that we had to go through, the spiritual battles that we had to endure. Thank you for that. That's why you have been blessed as being my helper. You even helped me with my speeches. And yeah, so we ended off on episode 2 like some dirty sinners, but you're gonna have to go ahead and tune into the episode, get us some streams, go on, like and subscribe. Holla at your boy. But this one is indicated The Fall Off is the episode title because it was the first time we had an altercation, the first time we had an argument. And the thing about that is you can tell a lot about your significant other whenever you clash for the first time, because I think it set the tone for how we communicate, especially when we don't communicate and are at odds. But before we get into that title, I would like to stir things up a little bit. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Hopefully it doesn't trip you up too much, but
we'll see.
I'm going to go ahead and ask the first question. Okay, so what's the difference between being in love with someone or being addicted to their presence?
You had to start like that, huh?
Yep.
Oh, wow. I'm going to start with the addicted to their presence because I think for in one point in our relationship, I could just say like there was a point of time where that's the only thing I really wanted was just to be in your presence. So it wasn't really so much like the love portion of it. It was just more so of me just wanting to be around you all the time, 24/7. And it's just something about being in someone's presence that just makes everything okay.
Hmm.
It just makes the world seem like it's not there. Like all the things that you're going through at that time is non existent.
Okay.
So, like being in somebody's presence, the right person's presence, changes the aspect of things.
And also the wrong person's presence, because a lot of people they just get addicted to somebody's presence being there, whether it's good or bad, and they look at it as a form of love. Like,
Yeah, I was getting to that point, but you said it, but yeah, but I'm saying it from the good aspect of it.
good aspect of it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I asked that question because that's something that like really eat Mike more to hear. Yeah, better or turn up game. You have to talk a little louder.
For me,
Yeah, gotcha. Oh, excuse me.
but just turn my mic up because I don't.
No, like
Oh,
it's not that mic. They can hear you on that mic. It's this mic, so you have to also project on that mic and that mic because we got two mics now.
three. Okay, but sure.
So yeah, because I feel that a lot of times people mistake love just for addiction to their presence. Like they just got so comfortable and so just addicted to someone being around to the fact that they're like, oh, this is love. Because I asked that question because recently, I think it was Shaquille O'Neal ex-wife came out with a book and she was like, she was saying how she never was really in love with him because now that she's married again, I think she married a pastor, but he said that like now I'm feeling the real feeling of what love is, and I felt like I was just
I think love has to do with the thing of like how you're being treated in the relationship as well. So you know if you're just there just to be in somebody's presence, then and they're not really showing you affection or attention or anything like that, then that's to me that's not really love. It's just y'all chilling together.
mm. So that brings me to another question: can you love someone that's not reciprocating the love back? I didn't really have that
I
question,
mean, you
but
can love someone, but not be. I don't know, like not really in.
there we
That's
go.
a
There we
that yeah,
go.
that is a really tough question because it's like I'm
Mm-hmm.
stumped.
Got him. Yes.
Yeah, I'm stumped on that one. Like,
That's a good. Somebody said some people are scared to be alone, and that is a thing.
that's true because that was the point you know in my life where I had to be dating someone and they they were totally toxic.
Yeah.
But as long as I had somebody to call, my boyfriend or whatever, I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah,
Yeah, and
that's
I
kind of
dated out of
scary.
insecurities. Like I felt that if I wasn't dating someone or in a relationship with someone, then I felt less of a man because I kind of
Yeah.
felt like being with a female validated me as a man.
Hmm.
So that was kind of a toxic thing
As
too.
well, yeah.
So yeah, so I was just asking those questions because a lot of times people in relationships, like we be in relationships with people, and that's why I say it's very, very difficult whenever you really get to know people because when once you get to know people, like you already like build up that connection with people.
Hmm.
That's what. Forgive me. That was like a saying back then that we had growing up, like us fellas and homeboys that like, man, you better not be caking with that freak. Meaning that like if it's a female that you know is sexually promiscuous with like a lot of people, then you should not be doing too much communication with us because you know that eventually you're gonna feel a connection with that person, and then you start feeling that person, and then you start not seeing truly who that person is. Like literally, you'll fall in love with someone that's like literally messing with everybody because you build that connection. And I think realize that like that happens a lot. Also, these day and ages, like especially with people that find themselves in like relationships outside of the relationship at the end, like people at work, you spend too much time with a certain individual at work, and you feel like, okay, well, now I'm attracted to that person. So you probably wasn't really in love with the person you was with. You was just addicted to their presence. And now that you're out of their presence, you feel like, hey, I won't really feel bad if that person is out of my life now because I got someone to replace that person. You know, that's why I feel like plan B is a relationship destined to fail, because if you have someone in mind already, then pretty much it's easier for you to walk away from that relationship. All right.
Yeah.
But that was just a couple of nuggets. That was extra. That was line out. You don't even have to pay for that. That was extra. That ain't even part of the episode. But let's go into it because I got some. I got a couple of bones to pick with you because I really processed what happened. Trying to get ready for this episode, I processed what happened. Let me tell you guys what happened. Okay, so
7 years. Why can't you be the one that figures out why the person is so sexual active? They just may be a beautiful person.
why can't you be the one that figures out why the person is? Because like at that time, I was not mature. I wasn't mature enough to see people as more than just what I wanted from those people. So therefore, at that age, I just saw females as sexual objects. So I wasn't looking for a deeper meaning. I didn't even see her as being brought up in the image of God. I just looked at them and be like, hey, that's a body count. You know, that's a notch on the belt. That's something I can go to my homeboys and brag about because that made me feel better about myself, my insecurities. You know, what I was facing, me growing up without a dad, making me feel like I, you know, had to earn my manhood, and that was just part of me trying to earn that manhood. So that's a good thing. So you were the bad person, not the sexual. Yeah, I was the bad person. Yep. Right. Yep, that's how it goes. Yeah, yeah. Yep. So we good. We're gonna keep rolling. Our other stuff messed up too. So yeah, so let's get into this situation. See, what happened was, okay, I remember it like it was yesterday. She was on campus. We just started dating. Okay.
No, we've been dating for a little while.
We made it official. So we were together, and they had a guy that.
No. Let me tell it from my point of view because you're just telling it from your point of view. Okay. I'm walking to our post office box after class, and there's this group of guys who were standing outside of the post office, and one of them came up to me and was like, "Hey, can I have your number?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I have a boyfriend." He's like, "Well, you can't have friends?" I was like, "Not male friends." And that went on for a while. Like he kept badgering me, and it got to the point where I was, getting kind of like, I don't know, agitated, freaked out, annoyed, all this. So I was like, I just finally gave it to him, not really thinking the repercussions of it from,
She cheated, y'all. She cheated.
since you talk about her, maybe y'all should switch spots. Maybe we should. Go, 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 go. Sit down and be quiet.
You want to switch?
No, we could just get closer. All right, give us a minute.
Thank you. Somebody said shame on you.
What? Shame on who?
Me, I guess. No, yeah, shame on her. She cheated.
Be quiet and let me finish telling the story, okay?
Wait, both points of view are important because you always need both sides to paint a whole story. Well, the story that was painted was she was a low down, dirty, lying, deceiving heartbreaker, and I don't want to have in my life. So I'm taking the house, the car, the kids, and the dog. I want it all.
We don't even have a dog.
We're going to get a dog, and I'm going to take it.
Take the dog. I don't even want no dog.
Shoot. Cheater. She was a cheater, y'all.
Oh, Queen, no.
Exactly. Get him, Queen.
Queen, it wasn't even like that. You came in the... Okay, listen.
Context.
Listen. Come on. What side are y'all on? Just listen to the story. Oh my goodness, guys. All right.
He good.
So, yes, I gave him my number just so he can just leave me alone. Like, this guy would not take no for an answer, okay? It's like when it wasn't, no, there was no physicality. There was nothing physical about it because after I gave him a number, I never saw the dude again, okay? And there was no mental cheating because I didn't even think about the guy afterwards. It was just like, I don't know who this guy was. I don't know what his motive was.
Guy, if you run across this live, go ahead and tag yourself in the post. We're going to get down to this. But honestly, the reason why I wanted to bring that up because before we started dating and made it official, other couples that I know and y'all know. So check this out like this, okay? Before we made it official, okay, I was pursuing her, but she was in a relationship and she knew that I had feelings for her while she was in a relationship.
I was not in the relationship because according to you, if the guy according to you, if the guy has not talked to you within 24 hours, you are no longer dating. And this guy had not talked to me for 2 weeks.
But then you said that the reason why you didn't want to officially allow me to have that position is because you were still in a relationship with someone because you didn't officially break it off.
Yes, okay. So what's your beef?
My beef is that whenever you get the message, whenever you get in a relationship with someone for the very first time, you have to set clear boundaries on what cheating is to you. A person's cheating can sometimes mentally we have different levels of cheating. I feel like if you are in contact with the opposite sex that likes you and you know that person likes you, that's cheating. If you wasn't that person's friend, if y'all didn't have a friendship before we met and a guy's like, hey, I just think you're cool, can we be friends? And you'd be like, well, okay, we can be friends. It's like, nah, that guy likes you. That's just a random guy that you just met, you got a boyfriend. Why you need to have another male friend kind of situation, and of course that's also an insecurity thing. But we agreed after that, after the whole thing. Did y'all clarify? Yeah. Yes, we did clarify our relationship. She was mine. That's why we got into our first altercation.
But I'm gonna take some blame for that because I didn't tell you about it until after we were spending some time that weekend together because you had a fitting or something.
for Kagan wedding. Shout out Big Kagan Poke, Killer K.
From for that, and you got mad because I guess because I didn't tell you, and the fact that I gave another guy my number. I understand why you're mad, but you didn't really understand my point of view because one, I didn't know. I'm not saying that my actions were right. I'm not validating that at all. Um, I will say I was in the wrong because I didn't tell you beforehand, and the fact that I got my number, but just I did it because I wanted the guy to leave me alone. Like I didn't know what was going to happen if you know, there was a group of guys. I was by myself. There was really no one else around, so it was like I didn't know if I was going to get hurt or I was going to be followed back to my dorm and harassed. I didn't know. Okay, so the safe bet for me was to give the guy my number and leave. Okay, like, so I'm not.
So we had that discussion recently because they had like this viral clip where this female was saying that so. Like, hey, if you're a female and a guy approach you and asks for your number, just give him your number because you don't want him walking away. Like you don't want to like tip the guy off and not feel safe, or the guy might attack you. That might, guys really don't deal good with rejection and all that other things. So she kind of like, she kind of like agreed, like, yeah, I think you should do that. But then I was like, no, that's cheating because what if, like, I'm looking at it from this point of view as a guy, like. As a guy, you want to feel so secure that, hey, no other guy that crosses my woman can ever think that he has a chance. I don't care if it's a fake number, real number.
So what about our safety? If we don't have like pepper spray or those little pokey tools that, to save you, like
blicky.
Or blicky. Yeah, like what if we don't have anything to protect us?
Well, guys need to grow up and learn how to take rejection. Like
everyone is gonna grow up and learn how to take rejection.
Well, that's a step in the right direction for them to grow up. Like literally, like you need to move around.
So what do we do in that case? Because that could have been me.
Hey, the Bible says.
Seriously though.
Yeah,
I'm to the point
like a kind answer, like turns down rat.
You weren't really caring at that point about, anything else besides that.
No, I'm saying this. You cannot live your life like in fear of what other people's going to do for your truth. It's like, oh, I got to lie. I got to portray myself a certain way because I do not know how people are going to react to it. I don't know if this guy is going to become hostile in a situation, so I do not want to tip him off. So I'm going to walk on pins and needles for the rest of the world because they have unmature, undeveloped,
That still goes back to the same question. What about the women's safety?
I'm saying, like, okay, it is a crime and illegal for guys, but I'm just saying, like, in a situation like that, like, hey, I understand that things happen. We live in a fallen world, but it should not come at the cost of your significant other's security. Because even after all that situation, my whole focus is going to be like, okay, well, he didn't hurt you, but now he feels like he has a chance with you. Like, he has a chance with my wife.
That Tanny wants to hop in the line.
Oh, awesome. Maybe hold on, let me see if I can pull him in. Copy the link. I don't know how I can send the link. Hold on. I know. Where's my thing? You can grab my thing for me?
What's the thing?
My Bluetooth thing. We got you.
1 minute.
1 minute. That's awesome. That's awesome.
This?
Yeah. No, the other thing. The thing that I be using when I be
Wait, I don't know what the thing is.
that.
This?
Yeah.
Man, I see speaker.
Speaker. I don't know what it's called.
It's a speaker.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a third party caller calling in. First time officially.
Hello, hello.
Hey, how you are doing, sir?
Well, doing better than you are.
Of course you're gonna be on her side,
You're
man.
not listening and understanding what your wife is saying.
Here we go. Here we go. Break it down to me. It's just, to me, honestly, it feels like two insecurities bumping heads. Like you're insecure about your safety in the midst of random strangers, and I'm insecure about a random stranger
Right now,
thinking that
it's
he
having
has.
a double like it's lacking. The conversation is lagging like three. Okay, there we go.
Oh yeah, it's gonna lag. You might have to, like they say on the radio, turn your radio down, because it's gonna lag. But you good.
Yeah, but I don't know which conversation I'm having, or the second conversation, or the first one, because
You can
I'm hearing two different
comment
ones.
on.
You can comment on whatever it is you want to comment on right now.
Well, anyway, on a perspective of being a female, living in a house of females, growing up in a house of females, there is, you can't be, even, you got guys out here that's being carjacked and everything else, and there are men, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I can understand the safety part of it, because I bought pepper spray for my daughters. I bought these things you pull that make loud noises for my daughters and everything, because I am aware and not ignorant to the fact that even though we may feel insecure about a situation or whatever, just think about the person that's in that situation, how they feel being in that situation. You know what I'm saying? So insecurities and being, feeling unsafe is two different things. You know what I'm saying? So we can easily say, I'm 10 miles away. I can easily say, and that's being childish and thinking about yourself. I don't like the fact of gig your number, or like the fact of this. But what can you do from 10 miles away? You know what I'm saying? They have to be able to protect themselves or whatever. Walking on eggshells in life in general, it's not being like, I'm thinking about that every day, but I'm not being also ignorant to that. It's not part of life.
I see your point. My thing is, though,
How about you have an open mind?
I do have an open mind. I can't get off the fact that I do not like living for other people's chaos. Like, I don't like that
So what
we
if
have
something
to.
would have happened to me and
But at the time, like,
Right now,
I know it couldn't.
selfish.
At the time, it couldn't benefit me because, like, you wasn't my
Being
wife.
selfish. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't live under the chaos.
So like after that she'll come home and be like, "Hey, I ran into some random guy. I gave him my number. He might call, but you don't have to worry about that because I was just doing it for my safety. I was just doing it for my safety." And then I'm like, okay, now a random guy called, and now I'm like, okay, who is this person that got your number, and why do they have your number? And now there's doubt that's been introduced into our relationship that's about to kill the trust in our connection, because
basically what happened, because the entire weekend you were ignoring me, making me feel like crap because of that incident. And you would not even let me explain my side of the story. All you cared about was how you were feeling at that time.
Because I was feeling cheated on.
But you wouldn't even let me explain. That's the point.
Okay, but now that you explained
like
it,
now you're not
You
letting her explain.
still not listening.
I hear you. I listen,
You hear me, but
but
you're not.
I
No,
still
no.
disagree.
Exactly.
That's the thing. It's
Exactly.
like
That's the
I
thing.
understand
And all
fully
these years, you're still
what
holding
you.
on.
No. But it's
Uh-uh.
been brought up
No.
again because you
No.
agreed with the young lady
No.
that said, "Hey, okay,
Because I was there.
okay. Let's think about it this way. Okay, what if? Because we're now in 2024. Okay, it's a new world. What if I'm walking alone and this big, like diesel dude was like, "Hey, give me your number," and I'm like, "No, I'm straight and I'm married. I don't care. Give me your number. You know, give me your number. I'm gonna shank you. I'm gonna grab you. Or I'm gonna shoot you with this gun. I gotta give you my number, then come tell you that I'm not on the down low. When I get on, like, hey, some random guy's gonna call, but don't think nothing of it because he threatened me and I felt threatened, so I just gave him my number. So he might, like post my number up on their sites and have like a bunch of other, people of that
there's
nature
this
calling
thing
me.
called the block button. There's this thing called changing your number. There's options.
You'd have to change your number like 10 or 12 times if you're going to give your
But-
number around
The-
that much just
but-
because or whatever.
The thing is, like,
you know what I'm saying? I can understand,
Okay,
you
let's-
being, scared or everything like that, but
Let's
I really deal with it.
let's
I'm just
change
gonna
the
have to change my
topic,
number every
okay?
time, 'cause
About
that's what it's like
No,
$25 each time you
let's
change
think
your
about like something else,
number.
okay?
You know what
Like,
I'm saying?
what if, like, okay, let's change the topic because my thing is I'm not really looking at the fact that it's you and it's someone that it can assault you. I'm looking at it from the fact, like, as people, I don't think that we should lie and cater to another person's, like,
change
like
the subject
how
so
another,
you're
like,
not
like,
understanding her
that's like
perspective.
saying, like, oh, you should not wear or buy nice things because they have people out there that's gonna want it and they're gonna kill you
People
for it.
gonna want it or kill you for it either way.
So if you're a beautiful female and guys are gonna want you, oh, I gotta cater to those guys so I don't get assaulted by those guys if I tell them no.
So guys don't kill ugly females that don't have anything?
Huh?
The guys don't kill ugly females that don't have anything?
I'm saying, like, exactly, like a guy is gonna, like, that's like the conversation about, like, oh,
just to please themselves, get off on just killing.
Yeah,
doesn't matter how they look or who they are.
Exactly. That's like the talk about, like, oh, if a female dresses provocatively, then she is instigating a rape. It's like, no, it's just a filthy human being that has that in his mental that wants to do that. It doesn't matter if she was wearing baggy clothes. He still had that in his heart and in his mind, and he's gonna do it because that's the kind of person he is. So it's like, okay, even if you cater to them, you have to, like, literally go against who you are as a person just to make random strangers feel better because they can't handle.
There's a difference between making a random stranger feel better and you making yourself feel safe. You know what I'm saying?
At that point,
there's a difference. She wasn't doing it just to cater to him. She was doing it to make herself feel safe. In fact, were you around?
No, he was over 60 miles away.
Okay, so she had to do what she had to do in order to be safe in that situation.
Okay, but when you told me the story,
change the subject.
You told no, but when she told me the story, it wasn't along the lines of safety. It was along the lines of, hey, this guy came talk to me. I thought that he wanted to holler at my sister, but he kind of wanted to holler at me, and he was like, hey, do you want to be friends? And I'm like, oh, I don't mind having a friend. Sister. No, but you said that you assumed that he wanted to talk to your sister first, but he's like, no, I want to talk to you, and I just want to be friends. He's like, well, I don't see nothing wrong with a friend. And then I was like, my mind frame went to, wait, we was friends when you had a boyfriend. So I'm looking at it like, oh, well, you're just this friendly female now. And that's where I went until it took me some time. It took me the whole weekend to realize, oh, well, maybe she does not know how I look at that because I'm not communicating that to her.
No, you didn't
Exactly
the whole freaking weekend.
Yeah, but look where we at now. Hey, we made it. Give me 5, baby. We made it.
No,
oh, we made it.
Put your hand down. Put your hand down.
Give me 5,
Because
baby.
you harbored that all these years.
No, I didn't.
You did.
No, we're just talking about it now because it came up with the other female.
To the person in order to make themselves or find an opportunity to get away. Did they like doing what they did? No, but they had to do it in order to make sure and ensure they found an opportunity to get away. So she may not have liked giving a number, which unfortunately that was almost a deal breaker for you, giving a number in order to feel safe, but she had to do what she had to do while you was 1,500 miles away.
But now I'm just gonna we started and we're gonna train her some more in MMA, and then she's gonna have a concealed carry license. So I got your number right here. And bam, everybody wins. Everybody wins. And then you can pray for the bystanders and oh man, everything is good. Everything is good. Holy, I'm good.
Also buy some pepper spray. I bought both of my daughters, but also buy them little things that you pull and make a loud noise, whatever. There's certain preventative things, that you can get to ensure that she's well and fine while you're not around.
So okay, be honest. If you are just online, okay, and some random guy like messaged you and was like, hey man, I seen this picture of you and this female that I hollered at the other day. She gave me her number and everything, and I was your wife, and you get a phone, you get a message. I didn't even know she was married until I ran across your page, man. I'm sorry. And then you're like, wait, then you go to your wife like, hey, this guy said, oh, I just gave him my number because I felt threatened.
So you gonna believe social media before your wife at that point, because you know about catfishing. People can pull your number, your paper, your picture, all your information, and say that you did this and you did that. At this point, you're believing what the catfish person says, right?
No, like you ask her like, hey man, this guy says this, and she's like, oh yeah, I ran into him and I gave him my number, but I didn't like him. I just felt threatened. Would you 100% believe her and be like, oh, I'm sorry that you felt threatened, man? Like maybe I should be sensitive to you going out there in front of all these guys that can just threaten you, kind of situation. You'll be like, you know what?
She not told you?
Huh?
No, she wouldn't have told you at all, and that would have came out whatever. Perhaps it wasn't a feeling of being threatened, but the fact that she told you, about it or whatever, it probably would have been better if she would have told you like as soon as she saw you, as soon as she talked to you about it, because she felt threatened in the way she felt at that time. Yeah,
and that
there's a
really like
time frame
played
also
into the part of me like really going over it and be like, you know what, maybe I'm overreacting, because you gotta understand, I did come out of a divorce where I was cheated on, so it was like a lot of trauma and stuff too. So I had walls up, and I'm like, okay, I looked at that as a red flag, the first red flag. When I'm looking at this female, then I'm thinking like, okay, I finally found one that checks all the boxes, and I feel really safe, and like I'm not gonna experience what I experienced before, and then this comes up and I blow it out of proportion, out of that trauma that I was going through, that I wasn't healed from yet.
Because you're not supposed to bring bad baggage into a new relationship.
Yeah, but that's easier said than done.
It's the same way, for a female, if in the store, if there's somebody, you walking in the store, in the public store, and you meet up with an ex-girlfriend, and all of a sudden, she's like, oh, how you doing? It's been 5 years, and she hugs you, and one of your the wife's friends see you hugging this person in the store. Now you go home and try to explain this to your wife. Nothing happened, but you're trying to get her to understand. You know what I'm saying? Just like she's trying to get you to understand.
Yeah, but then you have to be mature enough to like know those boundaries.
Exactly.
Like I'm not about to
You never
hug
was
my,
really that mature.
ex-girlfriend or ex, at all. Like so even if like that friend was gonna see, that friend is gonna see me operate in a respectable way.
Looks can be deceiving. You don't know, and you don't know what that friend is going to actually say, or how
Yeah.
she's going to put it, or what kind of spin she's going to put on it.
Yeah.
And
Now
then
it's her
she,
word against mine.
portrays or tells your wife what she got to say, or what she quote unquote saw. You know what I'm saying? Which she might just put a little extra sauce on.
That's why you have to be very transparent and be like, hey, I see my ex-girlfriend. She wanted a hug. Access denied. You know how
But
right.
that's how we are now.
Yeah.
Like this female messaged me, blah blah blah, and you show me the messages. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's how we are now after that freaking incident that happened.
That incident didn't even like pour into our relationship. Like after that weekend, we was
That's
good.
what you think. Because I was basically walking on eggshells for like a month because of that. And I will never forget what you said that night when you had to go to work. You like, don't do anything stupid while I'm gone.
I said that.
That hurt me.
That boy was cold.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I didn't even know I said that.
I said that hurt me so bad.
I didn't even know. You okay? I'm sorry. Like that's crazy. I didn't even know I said that. That was that hurt. Hurt people. Hurt people. Hurt people. Hurt people. I didn't even know I said that.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. People listen sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people have a tendency to do that. But you have to take that time, 5 minutes to actually listen to the other person's, put yourself in that other person's position. You know what I'm saying?
I was in that other person's position before.
Okay, so you can know how she should feel in that situation. That you had to give your number to a female because you wanted to feel safe because you felt like Baby D was walking up on you. You know what I'm saying? You're horny or something.
That's a good example. Like, baby, you didn't understand. Like, she had the big Afro puffs and everything. She was like, she grabbed me. I couldn't do nothing. But I like what Megan said. She said, sounds like there was a lack of trust in the situation because it doesn't seem like there was any sneaking around. It seemed to be very out in the open. But I felt like that was a lot of our insecurities, like, pouring out. And then we fixed it.
Did we really fix it?
Yeah.
Or did we just bypass it?
I felt like fixing it was me not holding it against you anymore. Like I understood that you didn't know.
No, you probably you said that, but at the same time, you never said sorry about how the way you
did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get down to the meat on the bone.
You never did.
Oh.
Never.
Well, I truly apologize because I really didn't know that I did that much damage because I did not see your pain through my own pain. I really didn't. I was just focusing on protecting me, protecting my feelings, protecting my woundedness. The fact that I didn't think about you in that situation to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sounds like now you're not looking thinking about her yourself and like her she was in that situation when she wants to feel safe. Yeah. Weird.
Okay, so since we're on that topic, okay, about that, is there any reason why it hasn't come up since now? Good and like in your, let me see how to put it. Like, is there any reason now that it's coming up
after so long?
This is like, I feel like that's one of those things also that even if I forgive you,
a lack of sense of communication because neither one of us can really open up like that without feeling, I don't know, too vulnerable with the other. because you feel
They want
like
to open up old wounds.
correct, or feeling like that's not quote unquote manly enough to be vulnerable with your significant other. I don't like opening up because I hate crying. I hate
I feel like the
seeing that.
difference in that is that a lot of things I like honestly a lot of things I feel that I can get over and not really allow it to affect me anymore, and I feel like there's a lot of things that touch different areas of you that still hasn't been like fully free, so therefore like a lot of things connect to a deeper root
Mhm.
in it, and you harness it like literally like in that space, because I still feel like in a sense that okay, if you're in a relationship, I'm speaking general, if you're in a relationship with someone and you tell that person, hey, I love you, you're everything I ever wanted, you mean the world to me, and you show that person, but that person still doesn't receive that, and it's not because of you, it's because of how they feel about themselves. It's really hard to get through to a wound that that person has to seek the personal healing for, because there's a lot of things that, especially I feel like in guys, there's a lot of things that happens to us that let me see, we'll talk about it, we'll touch on it or whatever, and there's something in us that clicks and we can get over it. Like I can honestly say that I got over the situation with my divorce and stuff like that. Like there was a point where it hounded me for a while, but then I got over it. Like I got through that hump.
Just got over it. It's the same thing as being healed from.
Yeah, like that's what I feel like getting over it is like being fully healed from it, where there's no residue left. There's like nothing there anymore to the point where it's like I don't feel that feeling, even bringing it up, even talking about it, even mentioning it. Like I don't feel that feeling like of unforgiveness, or there's like something that's still tied in there, all that insecurity from it, and that stench of rejection. Upon it's like all that is now gone, but I had to do the work myself. Like literally, I could not expect that other person to be like, okay, I really need to communicate with this person, and you have to help me like get healed from the rejection you caused me. It's like I cannot do that, so therefore I had to seek that help and that healing for myself. Pin drop. And scene. This is some good stuff. I didn't know this episode was gonna turn out like that. I was like, man, yeah, I got some questions that's probably gonna, you know, stump her, and she's gonna be like, oh my god, I never thought about this. Now, these questions. But you know how God is. Like you have a plan, and God's like, all right, what?
Your eyes are watering.
Because I'm tired. I work 11 hours today.
That conversation was emotional.
Yeah, it was because I seen pain.
I never seen so much.
But it's because I seen the pain in your eyes, and I'm seeing you fighting tears, and I'm like really in love with you, and I'm really connected to you. So you're hurt. I feel you're hurt. Okay. Yes, I said it.
Tired.
Okay, that was my manly response. Okay, but the real response is whenever I see you tear up, I start tearing up too, because we're connected. We're one.
Yeah, Megan's right. Megan is right. We'll have that conversation later tonight.
Covetance. Who hold on? Who invited them to this because they speaking all this knowledge and wisdom in our news feed and everything. You know, we're gonna totally have y'all guys on a podcast. I already talked to Alex about it. I was like, once we start, doing it with couples, because after we get out of this first season of telling the origin story about how we got together, the ups and downs, and of course this being the first argument, and I wanted to point out like how this altercation kind of like set the tone of the other altercations we had, because we realized that when we're at odds, this is how we deal with it. We just pretty much go silent.
It's like radio silence throughout the house.
Yeah, like we don't talk about it.
We're better now.
We're really better. We're growing, guys.
We're better now. Like before, whenever we would get into a disagreement or whatever, we would just go silent for like 2-3 days. And the only way of communication we'll have is like through text.
Yeah, it'll be short. Like,
you
hungry? Food's done.
I made it to my location. We really rarely get into arguments, but
yeah,
it's like now when there is a problem, we'll actually take some time off and really just calm down before we actually start talking to each other.
Yeah.
To like really lay our feelings and emotions out on the table and be like, hey, this is what's on my mind. I didn't like when you did such and such, or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, we're getting more.
We're getting better. We're getting better.
You gotta understand, like it's a marathon. It's a marriage. You grow, you learn, you grow together, you fight for each other. You know that, like, okay, this is the person that I dedicated my life to, and whatever issues we have, we're gonna deal with it. We're gonna solve it. We're gonna get it together. And one thing that we're not gonna do is we're not gonna cross each other. We're not gonna go ahead and give our phone numbers away to random people. Hey, I had to come back to that. All right, this guy told me that I have something that comedians have, that like you can double back and go back to something, and it's, yeah, you're good. That was a little jokey joke. That was jokes. Woo! Yeah.
I don't like them.
Woo! But you're bad when it comes to comedy. Like literally, I'd be like laughing, and I'd be like, "Hey, let me tell you this joke," and I'll tell her, and she'll be looking at me like, be like,
"Dude, you're not alone."
She's like, "I don't get it."
Women and men have different thoughts of what comedy is or what funny is.
I mean, like, she'd be like, "I don't get it." I'd be like, "What you don't get?" And I'll like break it down, and I feel like the more I break it down, the less I have a chance of making her laugh. And now it's to the point where I don't even find it funny anymore, because now you just took the fun out of the joke. She's like, maybe I just got a different sense of humor. Like, my wife doesn't find Dave Chappelle funny.
Oh, you crazy? No,
exactly. Thank you. Now I have somebody on my side. Thank you. Wow. Welcome.
That is wrong for divorce. If anything.
Okay, that's a little bit far.
See, that's crazy. Far. Like, not liking Dave Chappelle is ground for divorce, but giving your number to random strangers is okay. Come on, I like your way of thinking, sir.
Comedian out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, please.
Yeah, it's just, she doesn't. Yeah, she don't rock with that.
You know, said Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? Stand up, not movies. Mm-hmm. You would have said, what's his name? Steve Harvey or something like that, but not Dave Chappelle, man.
Steve Harvey. I only saw one stand up from Steve Harvey. That was the Kings of Comedy, and I thought he was very good on the Kings of Comedy.
You know what? No, he was not.
Look, I promise me and Alex have different sense of humor. You're not alone. I think it's like all wives. Like, but the crazy thing is, one of the things that attracts them to us is our humor.
Usually because females are very emotional, and the fact that when you can make them laugh and feel good, and almost anybody, not just females, feel good, that's like it's like an attraction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So yep. That was
That's
our
probably why you
first.
was always a class clown.
Yeah, I was. And it worked too. It worked. You know, it's like, oh man, he's funny. He's fun. I was like, okay, cool. And I used it. But then they also say that, not to make it all deep, but they also say that like humor can be a way where we mask our emotions as guys. Like we make people laugh to, like as a way to mask how we're feeling and all this other stuff as like a defense mechanism and stuff. Just cracking jokes, and I'm like, I'm just naturally a joke cracker. Like I just find things that's funny, like especially at these stores and stuff. Like I'll just pull up on people and I'll say something crazy. You know, it makes them give me good reports. Like, yeah, man, a Joe guy. So, but yeah, Stay Yoked podcast is why we do this, to open up the lines of communication, to make y'all think another thing. Ooh, this might get a little deep. Okay, I'm sorry. I know I listen to a lot of podcasts. So okay, so they said that a codependent relationship is toxic and it's doomed to fail. They said in a relationship you have to understand and make like literally clear lines on where you stop and where they begin, meaning that they need to have their own identity apart from you. How do y'all feel about that? Like a person cannot like literally just their whole existence be tied to you. They say that's unhealthy. They say it's toxic, and they say that it's a relationship that is doomed
Is that
to
how
fail.
you like you two see your relationship, or how other people see your relationship?
Like how, not perspective, how it is. Like if you cannot honestly say, okay, this is who I am personally apart from my spouse. Like this is who I am, this is where I start, this is where I stop, this is where they start, this is where they stop. Like it's not just like, okay, I can't without them, I can't in this area without this person, I can't flow in this area unless I'm connected to this person. Meaning that, okay, so are you in that relationship because you love that person, or are you in that relationship because that person is now a part of you to the point where you cannot function unless that person is there? Deep, huh?
Yeah.
Deep. Deep. I know. I was like,
Can it be both? 'Cause I
this
feel
is unhealthy, because then you start making decisions
like,
out of
mm,
that, because you feel like, okay, I cannot make a personal decision because my being is attached to this person, to the point where I can't see myself beyond being attached to this person. Meaning that if this person was to
yeah, I understand.
leave, then
Yeah.
I cannot function myself.
Yeah.
Kind of situation. But
I feel like it could be both.
explain, expound. It
I
is a
feel like
podcast.
I feel like, okay, yeah, I love you. I'm in love with you.
I
At the
heard
same
that.
time, there's some parts of my life where I cannot function without you, because you basically taught me like everything that I know today. So it's like if you were to leave, it's like, who am I?
Wow.
Basically. So
That's
it's like when people when people greet us or whatever, what do they normally say? What do they normally say when they greet us?
What do they normally say?
Here are the Garretts. I don't really have an identity outside of my husband. I'm not Juanita Garrett. I have nothing. Yeah, that is. But that's why I was saying like we. I feel like sometimes I'm just your shadow. I'm not my own person. I'm not your partner. I'm just an appendage of you.
Yeah, and that's
Like,
that's why I
how
brought that question up, because I feel that you feel that way, and I want you to have your identity, and I want to know how do we go about doing that, because I don't want you to feel that, hey, I'm tied to you, good or bad, right or wrong. I can't see myself apart from you because you are a part of me to the point where I can't see myself functioning without you, meaning that it really takes away most of your free will of making that decision whether or not you're happy where you're at.
I'm not saying I'm not.
I know, I'm saying like because I'm an awesome person. I'm incredible, but I'm just saying that like if there was ever something that I did that was like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. But what pops up in your mind more than your disgust for me is, but I cannot detach, or I can't even like leave if I wanted to because I don't know what to do, kind of situation. Like I don't know who I'm going to be. I don't know who I am apart from this. So I have to make the choice to deal with this. I can't, like literally, I can't even put all the cards on the table because now I'm limited with the cards that I'm dealt because of my connection to this person. Meaning that like they have people that, like that have that function, that can function on their own to the point where like, hey, I don't have to be here. I choose to be here, kind of situation. But I feel like that mostly in that situation, a lot of times it takes away most of that choice. Like, okay, but if I'm not here, then where am I? Kind of situation, you know. So deep. We're going deep, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel that's the
Kendrick, we need ya.
I feel like that's the point where the relationship can turn toxic, where it's like you're relying on this person solely for everything, and it's like at some point.
Leave it alone, big man.
At some point,
It's on. It's on enough.
Go get it. I go get it.
It's on a computer.
It's on the computer?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought it's on camera.
But you can continue.
I forgot where I was.
You were saying that you don't really want it to be to the point where
I didn't realize it was like that until you brought it up, because it's like, yeah, like who am I outside of Joe Garrett Sr.'s wife?
Yeah.
I have, and it's not like, and sometimes it's not to the point where you make it like that. It's kind of like to the point where that's how it's just it fell into, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's just
saying
So
you
just so happy to.
yeah,
Maybe if you talk up and talk above him, people would notice that you're there.
But that's also the thing. I don't like to be seen. I'm the background type of person.
See, and that's the issue.
you
That's the issue. It's contradicting.
I always say that whenever I spend a lot of time with God, God starts exposing a lot of things, and then Megan is over here with so much to say. That is awesome. We should get a uh hey Alex, maybe you can call me and I can like three-way on the speaker and like get y'all in on this conversation because it's like a very good conversation. Because I see a lot of things that's like happening. Like I actually shared this with Joey the other day. I was like, man, I see my wife. Okay, now these are like really tears that's coming, but
Let me hang up and get somebody else on the line.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the thing about this is I see you go through a lot.
Yeah.
And it like really hurts me that I don't know how to relieve you. Hello?
It like really hurts me.
Hello?
Hello.
You're on.
All right. I can hear the Lord. Oh, you're not Lord. All right. All right. Yeah, we'll take it off the other stuff.
Okay.
Hello?
I can't hear y'all, but I can.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're having trouble hearing you for some reason.
Hold on.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can y'all hear us?
Yes, we can hear
We
you.
can hear y'all.
Okay. Hold on.
Hello?
Okay, so are we talking like in a gentle, like not in a married relationship, or like just like how we?
We're speaking kind of in an identity way, like your identity, like you like as a marriage. There's a husband, there's a wife, but even though they're connected, they also should have their own personal identities, which they bring to the table, but their identity should not intertwine to the point where my identity is merged with your identity and I don't know who I am apart from you. Because if you leave or something happens, then part of my identity leaves with you. I'm not secure enough in who I am as a standalone, meaning that like I'm not my own person. I'm not a whole person unless I'm connected to you. So if something was to happen to the point where it threatens that connection, then that's a big chunk of me that's going to the point where now I'm at a crisis where I don't even know who I am and I can't see myself moving on because like I'm so attached to this person that, if this person was to something to happen, then they cannot go on by themselves.
Okay, so looking at from my point of view, looking at it as a marriage point of view, when you get married, I mean, I do believe it is a struggle because I had to come to a point and realize it myself. But I mean, you come together as one flesh under God, and at that point, I mean, you become, yes, like I am Alexander's wife. I'm also the mother of his children. That becomes my part of my new identity to be his wife and a mother.
Mm-hmm.
But within those two like identities, you have to figure out like what am I outside of that, or is that enough for you? And it's how I see it. And right now that's kind of where I'm at. Like That's enough for me. And as I grow into these identities, I'll find out more about myself. I mean, yeah, should something happen to Alex, I don't know what that would look like. It would have to be, I'd have to be retrained and regroomed to figure out what life without him would be. But I don't think it's an identity crisis without one or the other.
Yeah, identity. We see it together as we are separate people, but it's one marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It's one flesh.
Yeah.
Like we're
Yeah. It's
one
like
flesh together.
it's like the best of me and the best of her, so we can be the best together, and also for our kids. But I also feel that like if a person struggles within that, like marriage or within that connection to pretty much find themselves as like a individual, also like, hey, I'm also me, like I'm not just your wife, I'm not just their mother, I'm also me. And I feel like there's like a really like a, I don't want to say depressive state that goes with that, but there's like a lot of just, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but it's like really downing whenever I feel that they're looking at it and be like, okay, but at the same time, am I being what God created me to be? Just me personally. Because that's one thing that we learned whenever, like, before we got married, we knew that, okay, first we need counseling on us being married. Then we have counseling on us being married in ministry, because even though I'm called, she's called too. She's called to do what God called her to do, just like I'm called to do what God called me to do. And even though part of her calling is also a mother and a wife, there's other things that God is really calling her to do also, that completes her to the point where she's not lacking in insecurity about who she is and her identity, that it bleeds onto her as a mother, as a wife, to the point where it, like that insecurity bleeds off like, hey, I don't even know what I'm, who I am outside of all this other stuff. Like, hey, if one day you took the kids and y'all just like went to a hotel or something like that, and I'm just home alone, like, who am I without y'all around? Kind of situation. Like, how can I just spend time with myself and just be what I want to be, or who God called me to be, or who I'm secure in being, if it's not attached to you guys? Kind of situation. Like, if it's not, attached to your wants, your needs, me just being this person that, host this together, do this and everything. Like, outside of all that, is there any part of me that's me? Because that's like me. Like, I have.
Have you ever felt that way?
Huh?
Have you ever personally felt the way she's saying?
Yeah.
Like you were
Yeah.
like a separate person?
Yeah. Because I feel like that's all I am.
Right, but what I'm asking is if Joseph ever felt that way besides Juanita. Because there's an issue here. And the issue that I see is me and Joseph are very outgoing people. We're going to talk to other people. I know Megan and Juanita are also both introverts, and they're not extroverts.
Yeah.
So, whatever it is. But we're going to, so that some of that issue is that they need to get out of their shells.
But I think it also plays into like your own personalities. Like, what do you like to do? Like something for yourself, like outside of like being a mom and a wife. Like, what is something you like to do for you? Like, can you still do those things while being a mom and a wife? And is it such a bad thing to be just a mom and a wife? Like, is it like is that enough? Like, or do you have to be something more than that? Like, can you find the joy and the happiness in being just those two things? I mean, I understand that yes, it can be depressing and trying to figure out like I am nothing else more than this. I want to be more, but at some point, do you realize like do you come to a realization that at this time in my life, like this is what I am and that's what I have to focus on, and there is nothing like outside of that at this current point. But that doesn't mean that there won't be later.
Yeah. And I think
Because I mean, I think we all struggle with an identity
Yeah.
like crisis.
and I think it also gets cultivated also in community, and that's lacking also like that community because I have friends outside of church. I have like literally a best friend of mine that I knew since fourth grade. I have another friend that y'all just was listening to, Titania, and we've been like cool since music, and he also been a great mentor, great helper, great just like guidance guy that like really put me on the straight and narrow, stuff like that. Taught me how to keep a job, taught me how to like get a house, and like really provide, kept me focused and things like that. And I always have people like that that I can call whenever I just need to talk. I can unload on, I can pour out my heart without judgment, without being spiritually bypassed and things of those such, like that, just to be able to be transparent to, and just like really be able to be like myself and have that feeling of community apart from like other things that I feel like comes with the titles. Like they got people that you're connected with because of job, then they have like people that you're connected with because of church. But then out of those situations you can build a stronger bond, but a lot of times I feel like that usually don't happen organically the way that it should. And I feel like you'll feel more better to be able to like, hey, I can call this person, I can like really just vent, and I feel like she doesn't have that, and I do. She doesn't have that outlet that I have, and I do. Like I have a lot of things that she doesn't have, and that benefits me, huh?
Fighting.
Fighting? What? No, I do understand where you're coming from with community because it is true. Like, I mean, if you don't have that one person like that you can call or talk to when you feeling like you just don't know what else to do, that's other than your significant other. Like, it takes a village. Like, especially for moms, if you don't have someone who understands what it is to be a mom and a wife and like on that same page that you can talk to and vent to, it can be very like destructive to your mental sanity.
Yeah.
And if you don't have God and the Holy Spirit there to help guide you, it can be overwhelming. Like you have to have that group of people that you can just talk to. I don't have a group of people. I have my husband and I have my one friend that I know who no matter what I'm going through, I can call her and she's there. She may not be here in the same state, but she's there if I need. And I think that's very important to have.
Yeah, it
Because
is.
that in itself will help you find your identity also, I believe. And that's part of having someone outside of your marriage
Mm-hmm.
that has a different opinion other than your significant other.
Yeah, like I know that, like I consider my wife my best friend. No disrespect to Deanna or Titania, but she considers me the same thing. But it hits differently whenever it seems like I'm her only friend, and she can only connect with me. But there's ways that
There are times where, as a female, we cannot confide in our husbands and vice versa with certain things, because it's just something that a female or another male can only understand. Like, you could be there for moral support, but for that the other support that
Mm-hmm.
that the female and the male need from another female and male, that's unfortunately is lacking.
Yeah, yeah, and I understand, and now like I can see it, and I know that there's like parts that I cannot touch. I wasn't created to touch, and there's parts of you that me and Diane was just talking about. I was like, there's parts that like I tell my wife almost everything, and I can't tell her everything because there's parts that I can't unload on my wife because she was never meant to carry that weight because she receives things differently, so therefore I would not put such weights on my wife, but I can unload on my guys, and they can understand, and they can, like they literally can connect, and we can, bond over that because we know how it feels. Like, we know how it feels to be like the head of a family and not knowing what you're doing, and you just like, I look at it like this, like if you, like guys, like a lot of guys that I know, like we are working a position that we was never trained for. We was given position that's like, like me becoming a father or a husband. It's like I never was trained, I never was taught, I never seen I never had a dad to show me. I never like had a father watching them grow up and stuff like that. So I felt like I was put in a position that I wasn't trained for. Like, I just went to a job and it was like, okay, here you go. This is your position. This is your title. Good luck. And I'm looking at like all these machines, all these buttons, and I'm like, okay, I just gotta work this job because now it's my job. So while I'm working it, I know I might make mistakes, but I'm learning. And then I got other people that's farther ahead of me, and I can, like really connect to them, and they can help me in that situation. But I feel like for you as a mom, it's like you're just kind of like on an island alone, and being that you in a lot of situations, like you have something that's slightly different than a lot of other moms that we know, like the dealing with omni and the artistic and things of that such, and then they this part of you that don't want to pour too much on me because you think that, okay, you do this, you do that, and everything, so I can't really expect you to do that. But at the same time, I'm like, I want to help, but I know that even if I help, you're not going to disconnect. Because you can't disconnect. I can be like, hey, babe, you can go in our room and chill out, and I'm gonna do this and everything.
Even
but
if I'm in the same house
exactly,
as them, I can. You can say disconnect, and I
you're
can't
not. You're not.
because one, I'm in the same house as them.
Mhm.
So like, I'll literally have to go somewhere else to quote unquote disconnect. What's wrong with the straw?
Yeah.
So
I mean, sometimes I get what you're coming from. Like, sometimes, yes, you do have to get out the house, even if it's just to go to the grocery store, just to disconnect and stuff, and just get that 20 minutes. So, in the famous words of Bluey and
Bluey.
JoJo,
Oh my God.
I love him.
sometimes
Hashtag mom's life. They're quoting Bluey, y'all.
in a room, and it's dad's job to keep the kids away for 20 minutes and just let mom be.
I can do that. It's just the fact that whenever she comes back in the,
Or we lose all mental sanity.
So the funny part with this story is that Jojo watched Bluey and learned about the moms in 20 minutes. Megan went to the store, and JoJo asked me, "Did Mom need her like 20 minutes?" It took me till after Megan came back to figure out what JoJo was talking about.
yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, but that's pretty much like also, where I'm at to try to like help her in that situation also, even though she don't really know that I'm like adamant about it. Cause like I
You
be
don't say anything.
because I don't want to make you feel
Right.
that I'm
But also, I don't say anything either because I know you work now. You're starting to work longer days, and I don't know. It's just something we have to figure out because we both need a break.
There's a lack of communication with feelings.
Yeah, there is.
because we
And
all
that's part of the problem. So like me and Megan, you see, y'all say y'all can't unload on each other.
But you
we
have to.
we can
You have to.
unload to a certain
Now,
extent.
Think about it is
Like
you share the work and the burdens together. Like even though like Joseph goes to work 11 hours a day, like you said today, and you're home with the kids all day. I mean, y'all both done y'all share, but at the same time, y'all have to come together and work together to share the burdens that each of you go through, especially in the home with the kids and as husband and wife and mom and dad.
Yeah, but
You can't just
can you tell
say,
her to
she's the mom.
disconnect?
I have to deal with these things, and dad can't do it.
Because
No,
like
dad has to be able to do the same things that mom does, and mom sometimes has to be able to do some of the things that dad does.
like I
But it has
volunteer
to be together.
to do it, but
Can't
she
you
looks
just-
at me and she thinks that like, okay, but you did this, and I was like, but it's different with me, as you seen with Amaya. Like Amaya was fighting
Mhm.
you and everything. I was like, okay, I'm gonna put her down. So I put her down, and she literally allowed me to do what she was trying to get her to do for like
20 minutes.
for 20 minutes, and I do it, and it's like, you saw me trying to do it, and why does she do it for you? I'm like, I don't know, it's just different when I do it.
And in situations like that, it may be a little bit harder because you may be more comfortable with Juanita sometimes. It's just I think that's just something that y'all have to figure out the balance.
And it's also male female roles.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
as a child looked at the mom and the dad, they'll do something different for each parent. In the way that we each love our children, we discipline differently, we do things differently. It doesn't matter if there's special needs or not in that aspect. All children are the same to the point that they will be different for each parent.
And for her, like mom is naturally going to be the natural comforter, probably.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Just
what I
because
said.
that's our natural like
Nurturers.
instinct.
Yep.
Yeah. That's probably why.
But like you were saying earlier, like you want Juanita to like have friends and like it's something that you're actively pushing for. It also has to be something that she willingly wants to do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she can't be pushed into
Like
it.
I know her to the fact that she wants it, but she would not instigate it. Like she would not instigate it. So like me, I'm like, I'd be working like behind the scenes. I'd be like, hey, like, what would be awesome? Like
But
if
that
you
would
would
just
like
make-
reach out to my wife.
That would just
'cause-
make it seem like I'm desperate for friends.
No, but I feel
Or
that
you
like a lot of people
I
don't know.
I don't want I don't want pity friendships.
Yeah.
That's what that
Yeah, that's why I think that's why I'm like, I don't want to tell her because, and I don't do it to people that I know are like, those kind of people. I do it to people that really love you, and every time they see me, they're asking about you, but they feel that you do not want their communication. Like you're sheltered and you just don't, So I'm like, yeah, because I know that friendship is work. And I know that you're an introvert, so you're not going to be the one that instigate the friendship. But I know
I'm
that,
totally that way.
yeah, you really need it. So in that sense, I'm like, I know they have people that like feel that way towards her and wants to connect and stuff like that. And I just pretty much just nudge it along a little bit, like, hey,
You pushed so hard, you drove her away.
huh?
I said, you pushed so hard, you drove her away.
We have a crying baby. Double edged
I'm
sword.
just
She doesn't
thinking.
want you to feel desperate, but she wants friends outside of you.
So Megan's one friend was the one who really wanted to meet Megan.
Mm-hmm.
Because our boys were about the same age and she pushed to talk to Megan, and they became really good friends. So Megan is also that introvert.
Yeah, I know. I can tell. That's why, like, whenever she was speaking at one of the spiritual round tables, I'm like, oh my god, her heart sounds like my wife. I'm like, she's like articulating what's in my wife's heart, and I'm like looking at my wife. My wife is just shaking her head like, yeah, yeah. You know, our baby is sick. She like woke up and she had like allergic reaction or something. She has like swollen eyes. Amaya Bear. I know. Come on. I know you want Big Daddy. I know you want Big Daddy. Look at the people. Look at all the people. Right. Yeah.
So Juanita, what he's saying is, do you want friends?
Yes.
We need a mom group.
Yes. That would be great.
Awesome. And
we'll connect.
I'll do whatever needs to be done. I'll even like maneuver my schedule around to the point where she would not be bothered down with these kiddos. Like I'd be like volunteering as tribute to take them. Because like the difference between me and her, maybe because I'm like not with the kids all the time, but whenever I do be with the kids, I'm like, it's nothing. I'm like, they cool. You know, she's like, for you, I'm like, they cool with me. They just be chilling. And you know, we just be chilling together. Right. How did we turn this in? I feel like this is like really Holy Spirit inspired podcast tonight. It's awesome that we went live. This is like our first time going live, and I felt like it was really, really edifying, really amazing.
It's been good. There's a little lag in the video periodically, but it's been really good.
Oh yeah. That's like something that I'm probably gonna have to get you or Joe over here to like really look at all this equipment I got, because I've been like fighting, like literally fighting with this equipment.
Oh no, dude! We can hook it up real easy.
Coolio.
Oh, yeah. No, but I'm happy you did this live.
Yeah.
We get to actually see you while you're talking.
I know. And the crazy thing is, like, now I'm to that point where when the Holy Spirit gives me something, I hurry up and do it. So now I can't, like, renege or turn back or talk myself out of it. Because, like, literally, I just asked my wife, I was like, hey, you want to pod tomorrow? It's just like, sure. So I hurry up and put a post like, hey, stay your podcast. We're going live at 8 p.m. tomorrow. And I, like, posted it. And then she read it. She's like, oh, what? Like, and I was like, if I put it out there, then I'm going to literally force myself to like make it good. You know, I think it became a counseling session. It has, you know, because awesome thing is, it's like the fall off was the first altercation.
Oh boy, with the counseling session, that's hilarious.
I know. And like, it literally was like stuff that was just bottled up. And it's awesome because, you know, it got poured out. So feel really good about this episode.
Yeah, but that's what makes this real.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, I feel like I took over the podcast. I'm so sorry. I just.
Yeah, it's always real, always authentic. You know, that's how we do it. Like, if we can't be transparent, then, you know, we won't ask other people to be. You know, you're too big for this. You know, we gotta lead by example. Yeah, so.
Oh yeah. That's right. You can see us. Our kids are running around us too.
It's good. And I told people, like, when I was trying to shoot the lighten up, and I was like, it's okay. Like, let them be in the living room. Like, let them roam around. Like, if people can't respect that we have kids and we're parents, then y'all can log off or stroll over.
When we did the 30-day thankful prayers episode, our kids were all over the place.
I see. They be like in the videos with you. I'm like, oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, man, the consistency. I was like, I can't like do like every day. I'm like, man, that's. I'm like, man,
But
that's.
just put it this way: showing your kids in the videos this way is showing how a father is supposed to be.
Yeah.
It is showing other men what a father is, and that's what's important.
Oh yeah, like on some of the upcoming episodes, we don't want to like spoil too much, but like there was a point where we was like literally being like not really fussed at, but people was like really complaining about our kids doing our services because we would like conduct our services by ourselves. Like it would be me and my wife, and at the time we had 2 kids, so it was like, okay, we have no babysitters. No one is volunteering to, like to watch them, but everybody's complaining about them. Like, hey, you need to keep your kids under wrap. How? Like, I'm at the pulpit.
They're babies.
Yeah, they're babies. I'm at the pulpit. My wife, is also up there. Like, we're both like leading services and stuff like that. And it's like, we're running back and forth, and everybody's looking like, yeah, y'all need to get somebody to deal with these kids. Like,
Yeah.
But all right.
But Jesus said, bring the little kids to me.
There was like, yeah, maybe we should get together. Maybe the congregation should get together and pitch in on and hire somebody. Good. Y'all have a meeting and y'all do that. We would love for y'all to do that instead of complain. Just surprise us.
That'd be
Yeah.
a great story.
Yeah, that'd be a nice, show y'all appreciation to the work that we do, because we open up, we close, we clean the church, we did everything, just me and her.
And I had a baby on my hip.
She had a baby on her hip. Joseph was to that Roman age where he wanted to preach too. He wanted to grab the mics and he wanted to come up there. It's like, Daddy's up there, I'm going up there too. I'm like, hey, easy,
Well, like when I was a kid, my dad would go up preaching. A few times I snuck away from my mama, and my dad held me while he preached the whole time.
Like, I think I did that, for my, when I did offerings at Word of Hope, like, every time I did an offering, I was holding the Maya.
Yeah.
For, all the time, every time I went up there and did an offering, I was holding the Maya. I'm like, all right, here we go again, doing offering. Turn your Bibles to, but, yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and close this episode, because it's been an amazing episode. But before we close, I just got to let you guys know we did get over the argument. That was the first time we had a clashing. It was crazy because we was actually walking in the mall, because I was going to get fitted for my homeboy's Kagan's wedding, and I wasn't even talking to her while we was in the mall. I felt like if she lived closer, I would have dropped her home and never talked to her again. But I'm glad I didn't, because look what it turned out to be. Look at us. Now look at us. I think I made a good decision.
We had similar stuff with relationships.
Oh, yeah. Very similar.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with you?
So I want to thank you guys for joining us. It was amazing. And I just want to thank all the people that really kept tuned in. Thank y'all. This is really one of the first times I think that we had that much engagement with anything. We did our podcast is years ago, and people would chime in, but never this much, because I don't think that we was on that level that we are now. We're so, yeah. What you doing, dancing? You dancing? All right, now let's see if you're gonna dance next Thursday. Okay.
Okay.
You gonna dance for him?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Will he go come?
No, they're gonna see you online. You see the camera? They're gonna see you. So you guys say, this concludes. Say it on the mic. Say, this concludes
It's cool.
another episode
Another episode.
of the Stay Yoked podcast.
like a gay old podcast.
Say peace.
Peace.
Thank y'all once again for tuning in. See you guys next time.
See you guys next time.
That was awesome. I love it.